Hello and welcome to ITC Techshare. I'm Tom Grissom.
And I'm Newton Key.
Welcome to ITC Techshare. Welcome actually to the last ITC Techshare. I will be retiring at the end of this month, so I've invited Newton Key on here, our Director of Faculty Development, to come in and I guess kind of pick my brain one last time, since we've all been working very, very hard over the last 3 or 4 months, particularly due to the COVID-19 situation and just coming off, 3-4 months of remote learning. And we have all kinds of possibilities here at EIU. So what we're doing right now, I am actually located, even though you see my virtual background in the back, I'm actually located in one of our ITC classrooms in the College of Education. This is room 1430, and this is a typical classroom setup where we have a podium and an internet connected computer being projected to the front of the room. And then in addition, particularly today, what we're talking about is video, instructional videos, and how we can do them simultaneously or on demand, a lot of different options, and what are our choices going into the fall semester. So Newton, I'll just kind of throw it over to you on some of the things that you're thinking about as we go into fall.
Okay, well, thanks. And I am indeed picking Tom's brain here. Tom was instrumental in working with ITS to get the HoverCam computer set up that they have in Buzzard. And because they are thinking of new spaces that are going to be classrooms to ensure of social distancing, that you can get a number in, they are seeking to replicate that HoverCam computer setup that they have there. So I was going to see how that would work in the various places. I should say I'm coming here from Venice. I'm obviously in Venice. Now this is just a background that I can throw onto Microsoft Teams. The British Library, the British National Gallery was allowing you to download some of their stuff for personal use, and I took advantage of that because actually I'm just at home right at the moment. So the first question is to just remind us where we can get some information on that HoverCam setup and how that might be used for both a classroom that's physically in one place and then students that are either asynchronous, recording like we are, or even synchronous if they were live streaming.
Okay, well, I'm going to refer everyone to the FDIC website. We'll have some updated information and things available there. The ITC website will still remain out there. We've got dozens and dozens of YouTube videos and blog posts and all kinds of things like that. And then our ITS department, if you're running into any issues or have questions, please file a support ticket at our help desk. That is one of the things that will get you the quickest support. So the HoverCams, if you have one in your classroom, and we're fortunate enough here in the College of Education that every one of our classrooms do have that, we have many different options. And one of the first decisions is whether you want to go asynchronous or synchronous. Now, in a blended environment, when this fall is going to be a very unique situation. Whenever you have students, face-to-face classroom, and then a large portion of them outside the classroom and online, you can either hold class concurrently in synchronous and use the webcam in a Teams environment like we're doing right here. The one thing about Teams that's a little bit difficult to understand, and I'm not even sure right now as we record this, Newton and I's pictures are probably side by side because we both have our video cameras turned on, but I can also share my desktop, and that's what I did just a moment ago. So there's all
Can I just jump in for a second here on the HoverCam? So you're using the HoverCam right now.
I am.
When you first see the HoverCam, it looks like a document camera. It is a document camera. You can show something that you're writing on as you're doing it, but it's a good enough camera that you can film yourself, and you could even turn it to speakers in the class or whoever.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, so let's just do a quick little simulation of that. It's on a stand. It's got an arm that will bend up and down. So let's say that I'm getting ready to show something to the class, and it's no problem for the face-to-face students in the class because they see it projected up the front of the room. But if you're in Teams meeting like Newton's experiencing, right now Newton's actually at his house, So how would I present a lesson to him? Well, there is a bit of a teacher hack that I figured out in Teams. I'm going to stop sharing my video because my HoverCam has grabbed my webcam of the video. So I'm going to turn off my video, and I'm going to come down here and share my desktop. And now then, Newton, do you see like a blue screen that says having a computer problem?
I do indeed.
Okay, so what you're looking at is I'm sharing the instructor station here in room 1430. There is a program called Visual Presenter, and as long as I'm not sharing my video in Microsoft Teams, I'm going to double click on that. It's going to open up the software, and now then you are seeing the HoverCam, and I can come down here and actually do a math problem. 2 + 2 = 4, but Newton probably says, well, there's a problem with that, Dr. Grissom. It looks upside down. Is that correct?
It does. It's Z
Okay.
plus Z or something. I can't quite see.
So let's flip
Much
that
better.
around. Now that's an old trick. This is Z.
Okay.
The reason
Yes.
math teachers do that symbol right there. Or you can say 4 + 4 = 8. Or let's say that you're a history teacher like Newton or geography and you want to show a historical map. You can place the map down here and then highlight, do anything that you want. But this is simulating that classroom experience. If Newton were sitting in the classroom, he would be seeing this projected to the front of the room. But Newton, you have a bird's eye view right now of everything that I'm doing right here on this podium.
Right.
So now then, I'm going to stop sharing this. I'm going to close this out. And I'm going to come down here and stop sharing my desktop and turn my video back on. And now then you can see, now then you see a picture of just the background. And as I flip this HoverCam back up, you can see me, but now then I'm upside down, correct?
That is right.
There is that button right in the middle that will rotate it. And then like magic, I'm back in the correct position. So just a little bit of a trick there, a little bit of a hack that you have to remember to turn off the Visual Presenter software before you turn your video on. And the reason that is I only have one video camera and Microsoft Teams can only grab that at one time. So you either see me or you see the document camera pointed down at whatever I'm drawing on the podium. And one of the reasons that we like these HoverCams is, as I said, it's on that articulated arm, so you just move it up and down. And I see a little picture of myself here that I can kind of frame myself. So if I walk out of the frame right here, these are all little tricks that you have to practice. And then as you come back into the room, and then, you don't have to rely upon your students, particularly those online students. And we've probably all been in webinars or something where somebody's going off and doing something and say, hey, I can't see that. So
Right.
Those are just little tricks that we have to learn.
So I don't know how much time we should or have here, but I was going to ask some of in our response to COVID-19 issues, we will be back face to face, but we will also be wearing masks. And if you are recording this, can you turn on the live stream or should you do the captioning afterwards, or how would that work?
Okay, many different possibilities again.
Right.
One of the nice things about Microsoft Teams is that choice to do subtitling is an individual decision. Right. So if you have a student out there, let's say you have student A, B, and C. The nice thing about subtitles is not only can you turn them on if you so choose as a student, as part of the Teams, it's part of that ... that little ellipsis menu at the bottom, but you can also choose your native language. So if you're a native Japanese speaker, you could choose to have my words displayed as subtitles as I'm talking right now in Japanese, or one of 68 other different languages available out there. That's
okay, so I just did that and it says there are one of 68 other languages out there. It's pretty accurate, but that's not being, we're recording this. Those are just for me because I could have picked a different language.
That is exactly right. That is a personal choice of the individual student out there.
But it might be something to let your students know that if you're having trouble following in any way, turn that on. It just gives you a little extra feedback.
Right. Unfortunately, right now, those are not being captured or embedded in the actual recording that we're doing in Teams. However, we can multi-purpose this recording. In fact, I'm going to do that. we just set up a direct meeting between Newton and I. But whenever this finishes, I can download that MP4 file, or actually it's already going to be on stream since we're using Microsoft Teams. I can place that into a different channel and turn on my captioning and subtitles, and it would be automatically captioned for us. And then the third thing that I'm going to do with this particular session is I'm going to take this MP4 file and post it to YouTube, which is probably what you're watching on right now.
Right. I have one more question related to this, and that is about the length of videos. I mean, when we do asynchronous, we sort of have it ingrained. It's really hard to do, but to keep these at 6 minutes or less or something like that. If people are live streaming, it's going to be potentially longer, right? And then I was just sort of reading about this in terms of, let's say you're having a discussion about some sort of sensitive matter or a hard to discuss issue. And one group was arguing or suggesting that you should almost turn it off at those points, especially if you have breakout sessions or anything like that, turn it off and then come back. And would that be sort of advisable to sort of chunk it to say, go to the next video for the next one and so on?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's probably one of the greatest challenges and one of my greatest worries going in, because just because we have the capability of turning on the camera, I could be talking for the next 2 hours, no problem. Is that effective pedagogically? Absolutely not.
Okay, Tom, you go ahead and talk for 2 hours. I'm going now.
Exactly. Newton just turned me off right there. That's what our students kind of do to us. Yes. Chunk it into smaller pieces. If you go back and look at our ITC Techshare YouTube channel, I would say 95, maybe 99% of the videos I've done over the last decade are under 10 minutes. I strive harder. Now we are probably going to break that rule right now because just the situation that we're in. And as long as it's interactive and going back and forth, that's not as bad as just one person droning on. And you've got to kind of break those online sessions up in, I would say 15-minute chunks probably at most. We even need to do that in our face-to-face classrooms. We need to switch gears, get up, do some group work. There's all kinds of tricks that we teachers have developed over the years, and those are just as, or if not more important, in an online environment. So yeah, a lot of different possibilities. The other thing that's available here that I would strongly encourage faculty to experiment with is we have a side chat going on right now. Now, right now it's just Newton and I, but if we were in a class of 30 students, back in the day in the early 2000s, we called those back channels. We could go out there and do, little comments and things. Students can go back and forth, and some people may think that's a little bit of a distraction, but we all here at EIU have had a number of Microsoft Teams meetings, and I think you would probably agree, Newton, sometimes those side chat conversations, if it's nothing more than somebody posting a link to a resource, that's incredibly valuable because everybody on the team is seeing that. And not only that, but they have access to that after this meeting is over, whether it's recorded or not, to go back and review. And that's pedagogically, that repetition, that spaced practice, all of that is effective pedagogy into making learning stick for our long-term memory, and that's kind of the point of why we're here.
Yeah, I mean, certainly that's with meetings or even little mini conferences or whatever. People sometimes will be in a discussion and they go, okay, I want to catch up with the discussion that's been going on in chat because it's related to what we're doing right now. And so it's that re-emphasis, coming back, retrieval, I guess, is sort of the thing.
Yep. Retrieval practice. Yep. So we'll go ahead and wrap it up here. I just want to mention as kind of parting thoughts here for the last Techshare, as far as video instruction in a hybrid environment, we have lots of possibilities. We have lots of tools. It could be something as simple as you setting up your phone on a tripod, which I do many times, and hitting record. It could be that simple. Once you have that MP4 file, here at EIU, you can either upload that to Microsoft Stream and it will be automatically captioned for you and your students, which means it's searchable, or you can upload it to Kaltura, which is another video service that we have that is tightly integrated with our Desire to Learn learning management system. So advice-wise, if faculty could kind of concentrate on creating the content and the production side of things, all these technical how-tos are easily solved. We have experts here on campus to help us through that. We've had many people The one thing with remote learning, we were all forced into it. It was emergency, it was triage. Now that we kind of have some breathing room here over summer and going into fall, I think we can do a much more effective job and also rely on some of our colleagues that have literally been teaching online for decades. A lot of these problems have been solved, and we just kind of need to share the information back and forth. So, Newton, I'll let you go ahead and finish up, and we'll wrap up here.
Well, I mean, if I've learned anything from Tom, and I've learned a lot from Tom, is that this is, teaching and learning is not by myself, right? That this is a collaborative purpose, and some of these tools actually help with that collaboration, and that's I think what we need to work on going forward, because if you try to do everything by yourself, you're just going to be exhausted and
yeah, it's overwhelming. Yeah, great advice there. That's a good place to end up with. I will put some links into the description here if you're looking at this on the YouTube channel. So we'll provide some resources there, and then, as I said, we'll link back to the Faculty Development Innovation Center website, and that's constantly being updated. So with that, I'll go ahead and finish signing off for the last time, and Newton, you can join me here like in our traditional Tech Talk for Teachers way. So I'll say until next time, and this is Tom Grissom.
And this is Newton Key.
Keep on
learning.
There we go.
Okay.
Bye-bye, everybody.